cannot do a change impact assessment if you do not understand current scenario and understand future scenario, because the change impact assessment is the bridge between these two things. It includes things like role mapping, role clarification, change impact workshop material, role clarification sessions, awareness and management of possible emotional, cognitive and behavioral reactions to change. And perhaps the essence of it sits here in these pictures. Okay, ideally, you want to move people, if you do change impact management properly, the bits where you get your hands dirty, from a current to a future state. That bit you get at this stage. You do it within the context of a project life cycle. That is where assess, design, build, execute and sustain come in. And the change curve is the thing that you are proactively managing across these project life stages in the project life cycle. So a normal change curve will look like that. It will have active and passive responses, where active are usually the things that are visible. It is easier to manage because it's out there in space. And passive are the ones that are difficult to manage because it's those things that are under the radar. It's those tacit type of things, the unspoken, unseen things, but you can feel it. Now, this is the normal Kubler-Ross sort of change curve and the emotional responses that people will have as they move through this curve. And perhaps the most important bit to note is where the rejection response sits, where it should sit in a system implementation life cycle. And it should be somewhere between design and build phase. Okay? Take note of that, because the next slide, this is the type of comments that you can recognize that specific stage by. I am happy where I am. I don't want to do this. Why are you wasting my time? If you don't do change management and don't get your change manager on board in the beginning of the project, generally the rejection response gets pulled out much later and sits and manifests in an active way under the execution part of the project. That means when it is go live is the point where your users are really up in arms. Why was I not consulted? Why did you not tell me this is how it's going to be? I don't know that this is what this screen is going to look like. So the trick is to try and pull that rejection portion of your change curve forward to sit under design and build. It's normal for people to want to reject certain things. It's normal to have certain reactions to change. Individuals move through it at different paces. The bit that is important to know is the earlier you can detect and manage the rejection, the less the impact on the productivity and user adoption is towards the end of the project after go live of your system. Perhaps the most important bit about the curve is after exploration, what can happen to the person? They can go one of two ways. They can either go into a commitment phase or they can go into a depression phase. Depression, this is now sort of a systemic organizational type of depression, but that leads to a mindset of compliance. I will do this because I am told to do this and I will only do this. Where commitment leads to, I will do it because I understand why we are doing it and I understand my role in this and the importance of it. And it's two very, very difficult things to manage. The one leads to change resilience, that is the commitment, and the one leads to change resistance, that is the compliance component.